One of the big moments that everybody in Washington has been waiting for months arrived on Thursday when the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the subsidies regime that exists under the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, and upheld those subsidies by a 6-3 vote. The reaction, it was instant, and the consequences are going to be broad. Four of them in particular jump out right away, at least to me. One is that this is obviously a huge victory for the law and a big relief for Democrats who will now argue that the law is an established fact. It can't be knocked down. Twice it has come to the Supreme Court in different ways. Twice the Supreme Court could have knocked it down or at least deeply undercut the Affordable Care Act. Twice it has declined to do that. Democrats will argue it's over. This is an established part of American life. Secondly, there's some short-term relief for both the health insurance industry, which didn't want to deal with coming up with a plan to deal with 6.4 million who would have lost their subsidies, but also for some Republicans who, while they didn't talk about it much, were very worried about what they, as now the guardians and the masters of Congress, would have to do to come up with a plan to address the subsidy needs of those 6.4 million people. In the short term, they don't have to do that. But third, in the long term, this is a real challenge now for Republicans running for president in 2016. They really do have to now convince primary voters that they're still on the repeal Obamacare and replace it track, and the burden is now on them alone to figure out how they're going to say they would do that. The Supreme Court didn't make that job any easier for them today. And finally, you can now look for a real conservative backlash against Chief Justice Roberts. Twice he has been the pivotal figure in Obamacare cases in crafting an opinion and steering the court's decision in a way that allows the law to continue.